Welcome to another CEO Wisdom podcast. We have Jia Xi Chen. She is founder and CEO at Morphace, PhD candidate in material science and engineering at U of Toronto, and a Next 36 alum. This podcast is presented to you by podper.com. If you want to start a podcast and quickly monetize it through lead gen, through sponsors, and through AdSense money, you can go to podper.com. We have a free ebook for you to learn more about it. Yeah, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
So I'm Jia. You did a perfect pronunciation of my name. I'm the founder of Morphace, where we make skincare wearable technology that treats the skin for wrinkles and also tracks the skin health.
Why launch in that niche? Like you picked a really specific topic, somewhat complex one. Why decide to go full time into Morpheus?
So it actually started when I was using our competitor's product. I had a really great result with the skin tightening and also the pore tightening effect with it, and I really loved the result. But the application process was really painful. So fast forward 5 years, when I was doing my research at the University of Toronto, there came a way to customize the masks based on people's faces, so which means the treatment now can be automated. So I thought that, okay, this is actually a great opportunity because AI was also taking off. And what does AI need the most? Obviously, data. So there's a ton of health wearable at the time that was also taking off. And I thought that skincare is such a space that a lot of people are passionate about it. We all want to look and feel our best, but there is no quantified metric to measuring the baseline and to make scientific claims that are actually based on yourself instead of a research about other people.
This is quite interesting. So, yeah, Brian Johnson got me to look at skin health as of late. He's pretty obsessed with that, although he looks like a vampire. And I still have questions on if one should put himself in the sun. You can see my sun is sort of burnt, my face sort of burned right now because I went into the sun. We're going to get to that later. But not so long ago, my wife brought me to her cousin, which is a dermatologist, and we've got like all kinds of face treatment. And I started learning about that. So yeah, starting with my question, like, isn't sun exposure good? Shouldn't I have vitamin D go through meat, or is it also like causing extensive damage there?
Yes, 100%. We as human beings, we all need that sun exposure to be really healthy, produce that vitamin D, which is good for basically everything, even our skin and bones. So what's really happening here is that people with a really pale skin color, they can't produce melanin as much, which is the natural shield that our body protects to protect us against the harmful UV radiation. So what we see in really pale people, and clinically this is defined as a Fitzpatrick skin scale, is that people who are really, really pale tend to burn really easily, and the skin has that painful blister red. Whereas people who tend to tan easier rarely burns. So I would say that wearing sun protection outside, if you're extensively outside in some place with a UV4 or higher, then you should protect yourself against the harmful UV rays because it really changes, it mutates the DNA, and that's where skin cancer comes from.
Right. And then what other hacks do you have for us? Like, I see that there's genes as well that can affect that. I mean, smoking's pretty known. It's pretty bad for everything. Stress, hormonal change, especially for ladies, I would guess, menopause and so forth. How is Morpheus helping to fix all of these skin issues?
Yeah, exactly. I guess to address the first part of your question, why smoking, alcohol, pollution, air pollution, like the sun, they're all sort of harmful to the skin because they produce something called free radical, which is what damages our genes and ages our skin cells. And how Morphus helps exactly is to provide a benchmark so we can know how our own body is changing because there's so many different factors. Let's say, for example, today you get a really expensive product, or you visit the dermatologist and then they prescribe you something and you use that for the following 3 months, then, like you said, that can be influenced by a lot of different factors. Like, I might move to another city, it might have drier air or more humid air, and then the air pollution can be different. That all can impact our health. And I think what's really important is that we have a tool so we can really listen to what our body is saying, what our skin cells is trying to tell us.
Right. And then what you're building, and that's your specialty, it's a mask, it's a wearable. So it seems that it's still in beta phase right now because there's nothing, no paid plan on the website. What are you currently trying to build, and what's the AI part into it?
Yes, glad you asked. So there are two features that our mask can do. The first part is we stimulate the body to generate more collagen and more elastin, meaning that we work with the body's own repair mechanism to produce more of that protein foundation to hold up the skin and to literally make it into a younger state, kind of like a working out. And then the part that we're working on right now, which is the skin health sensing part. Of course, we can just release our product out there, but currently we're working with dermatologists to see the three type of skin health metrics that we're tracking, if it would be able to enable us to detect the disease early before symptoms onset. So that's number one plan that we're trying to work with here. And then the second part is that with so much data collected at such a high frequency, because our clients would use it every 2 times every day as they do the skincare routine, we would get a lot of high frequency home based data based on an individual that we can then compare to their own baseline and also to their lifestyle habits and to other products that they're using, to use AI and to tell them that, hey, this product isn't the best for you. In fact, it's causing a 10% health drop over the past 6 months. So we suggest you switch to this insert product with another active ingredient to better fit their personal body, because biologically we're all different. There's like a 35% of variance whenever it comes to these things.
Right. And how different is your product? Because I would guess there's competitors doing like similar stuff, right? How complex is it? How much patents and R&D have there been to build, yeah, that wearable?
So we do have a provisional patent filed last July, and we're going to file the utility patent this July because we've gotten a lot of technical development progress on the sensing part. And one key differentiator from our competitors, I would say, is the tracking option, because our competitors are mostly really focused on making that anti-aging treatment as powerful as it can and really drive into that anxiety in their potential clients and be like, oh, if you don't use our treatment, your skin is going to get really old really fast. But we understand that skincare is actually a long-term process, that is a part of this personal care ritual we perform on ourselves. So I think it's really important to understand our own body and to again have that metric, have that platform where we can be in a conversation with our own.
Right. And then it seems that you have an app as well, right? Because how could I get data on my own skin? So I take pictures of it with the app, the before and after, and then AI makes some kind of conclusion. What kind of data do I put in, and what insights do I get out of it?
Yeah, so our mask actually takes bioimpedance data. So those are the electric signals your skin cell is outputting. We don't take any vision-based data because A, they're really sensitive to the lighting, to different angles, different perspectives. And then B, we're having troubles to scale it up when it comes to different skin colors. So what we do is that we thought about, oh, what if we can just speak the mother tongue of cells, which is they communicate in electricity. So through electricity, we evaluate that skin health metric, which is what our wearable hardware measures. The platform sends that data to our mobile app, which sends it to the AI, does the analysis to give you back actionable insights in natural language.
Interesting. So I can monitor the health of my skin, and the insights would be like, hey, use X cream, use this, do more fitness. I would guess. Like, how are you planning to make it Nora like experience or a ring, right?
Yes, yes, like an aura ring. So that's what we're trying to figure out, working with our users as well. Some of them have mentioned that the important thing for them is to actually compare skincare because what's the difference between expensive boutique product versus drugstore product when they have the same active ingredient. And some of them mentioned that they tend to like and feel a certain way, and they did have that highlight, but it was like a period of mysteriously 3 months when it just happened and then it went away, and they like to bring it back again. So we're trying to really nail down, make it more from an art to a science. So um, essentially answering what our clients care about when it comes to their skincare.
How did you meet your co-founder, and how do you complement one each other?
Yeah, so we actually collaborated on a research project when I was doing my master's and he was doing his PhD. And I really liked how his project has to do with deep brain stimulation. So, kind of like the neuron connections, when you stick a pair of electrodes, you send an electric signal across and you try to make stem cells proliferate so that patients who have been sadly either injured or have been patient to a stroke can recover this way. Same thing, kind of like what we're doing with the skin, except that it's much more invasive and the technology is still developing. And I thought that, there is actually a great analogy to be drawn from how the technology has been developed. And he has over 8 years of research experience developing similar products. And I thought that it would be a good complement because obviously, I am here experiencing it from the customer side, speaking with our potential users every day, and then he's in the lab developing the product, really understanding the science aspect of it.
Right. And why did you guys decide to make it a business? That's pretty rare. We see a lot of students' projects, but very few get off the ground. Like, what's into you that forced you to push it into a startup and not go for the conventional career path?
Honestly, I think it was the user interview. As long as you have those interactions, as long as you have those conversations with your users, and they're so excited about this next question that you might just get to answer to them tomorrow. And of course, as the product keeps developing, we keep them updated. But I really have that urgency in me that I want to help them today or even tomorrow, to try to push that product development forward, to really give that tool to them that will help them better understand themselves.
And how was your time at Next 36? Yeah,
Yes.
what's the program about, and what did it brought to you?
So I think it's a really valuable product program because I came from a technical background, not much business experience. Before Morphace, I founded another company called Genie Stay, but it was very short lived, only lasted for about a year. And Next Canada really hammered in that founder mentality. Like, what does it mean to be a founder? It doesn't mean to set up, pretty pictures, saying that, oh, we're an official business right now. It's actually do the things that don't scale. So go out there, talk to your customers, get the cash flow ready, and also they had lawyer help, accounting help on board, so we would know what a data room looked like, what a cap table looked like, really level set it. Our foundation as a founder.
And what's next for you? You're raising capital, focusing on product, all of the above?
Yes, I would say that our next move is to get our devices into the hands of our potential users out there. So I we plan to distribute 50 of our devices in the hands of our current waitlist by April. So we'll see how those 50 devices perform, get some early feedback so we can iterate the next phase of the product.
And how do you choose these users? Are they influencers? Are they scientists? Are they normal users?
Yeah, actually, they're all users of our competitor's product, which is how we essentially found them because they shared the pain point of they love the progress, they love the results, but the application was too effort demanding and too time consuming.
Right. And what would be the cost of mass producing those? Would you actually produce these locally in China? Because to me, every wearable slash product, physical product business is sort of a headache, right? To get them produced, shipped, to keep the costs low. So how will you figure that part out?
So this is where our technology engineering PhD background comes in really handy. We're actually manufacturing them ourselves. We design the circuitry. We send the printed circuit board to a third-party manufacturer, which prints it for very cheap at a scale, sends it back to us, and then we integrate the electronics by hand. Eventually, of course, we are going to collaborate with overseas third-party manufacturers to drive the cost down. But I actually see in the next 2 years our manufacturing facility being set locally here in Ontario or even in Quebec. We did have a few of those first meetings with producers because, at this point, it's the turnaround lead time that really matters, and it's the quality that really matters.
Right. So thanks for showing up today. Basically, I want to learn a bit more about the product. Where should I go, Jia? Is it on morphace.com?
Yes, yes. Go on morphace.com, send me your email, sign yourself up, and then we'll reach out and have a first consultation where I will get to know your skin concerns, what you are looking for, your personal goals, and your current routine. And then we'll see how Morphace and our prototype can better help you achieve that goal. Faster, cheaper.
Love it. I was Jia and Charles for another Founder Wisdom Pod.